I'll now straight away go to some of the takeaways from this, from these 4 verses and the one purport which we read. Point number 1 is demons have occupied the demigods' places. How is it possible? The upper planetary systems, they are the prerogative, they are the domain of demigods only. Who can become a demigod? Can you and me become a demigod? Why not? We can follow a lifestyle where we predominantly are in sattva guna, mode of goodness. We become qualified. In this world, qualification is mostly seen in terms of money. So there is a nice resort in Switzerland, in Bahamas, or in Costa Rica, Brazil, anywhere, and you feel, oh, how I wish I could go there, but it is $695 for a night. So obviously, those who can afford that, they go there. Today, we find people who have achieved money from unethical means. They are the ones who go into these places where this kind of exorbitant rates are charged. Yeah, it's a fact. Like when I come to Bhakti Center, it's mostly United from India, or once I went to Virgin Atlantic. But while traveling inside America, it's mostly Spirit or Delta, and that too zone 5 or zone 4, which is like the last of, you are the real Shudras of that particular group. And they take you as if, all right, come on, since you have paid. It's not like they're having that joy. So Sattva Guna basically means living a pious life, understanding what piety is according to the Vedic scriptures, and then like you give medicines, give food, give clothing, you donate in charity, and then you come to the heavenly planets for what? For reading Srimad Bhagavatam? It's not there. Bhagavatam is not available in the heavenly planets. So even if you talk to somebody right now who is there in the heavenly planets and talk to him about pure devotion service, they're like, what gives, man? We are happy. I don't need anything. I mean, I know Hare Krishna and I can chant also, but that chanting Hare Krishna has nothing to do with the Trinadapi Suni Chena, the completely helpless crying of a baby. That's available only in this material planet, this middle planetary system. So demons occupying demigods, that should not happen. Imagine what happens to those who have just been promoted to the heavens only to find that there is no heaven. They have been kicked out. So intelligent readers of Vedic Puranas, when they read this, they are supposed to ask the Kathakar, the Pravachanka, the fellow who is giving a class, that Maharaj, it's not supposed to happen like that. The heavenly planets are indestructible, right? Nobody's supposed to go there. In the 8th canto, if I presume, there's a verse which says that no one who is lusty, angry, greedy can enter even the heavenly planets. And by that token, the demons are by far the best of the lustiest, best of the greedy, best of the angry. So something must have happened on the side of the devas. They must have committed some mistake. And what is that mistake? The mistake of false pride. So the moment someone like a demigod's king, Indra, he becomes proud, then the sattva guna immediately goes down. It's a very subtle kind of thing. How sattva guna rises, how rajoguna rises, you really need to be trained in a specific way, in a specific culture. For example, one Srila Prabhupada said that he wanted something to be cleansed, and he found that the cleansing liquid was having alcohol. So Prabhupada said, look at this. We consider alcohol to be one of the most polluting liquids, and here they say this is cleaned with alcohol. Of course, in today's coronavirus times, you actually need 65% or more alcohol in your disinfectant. Gaushan Prabhu, if you remember, we were coming from New Vrindavan and we were at that rest stop. That time there was no understanding of any coronavirus or anything. So everybody was using those 5-6 drops just to clean their hands. And then I read that it says, oh, it has this much percentage alcohol and guaranteed to disinfect all germs. So we looked at each other and we smiled that, nothing to do with this kind of cleansing. How do you clean something with alcohol on your hands? And you're supposed to eat with your hands. So the Bhagavatam has a verse which says, Sura Kumbha Ivapaga. How can some pot which has got alcohol in it be cleaned? It is already totally contaminated from the sattvic point of view. Of course, Jayapataka Maharaj, one of his very, very old classes, he was talking with somebody in a seminary, and they said that, yeah, we eat pig's meat because blah, blah, blah. We have been told that uh, it is not forbidden. Man has dominion. You know all the previous excuses which they give. Man is a controller of the Lord, or he has dominion. So Pataka Maharaj was in India, then he had gone to the West. So he says, but they are very unclean. They eat stool, don't they? Now that's a common thing in India. Calling somebody a dog or a pig is a big insult. Practically, why? Because they live like creatures who have nobody to take care. They eat very vile, bad food stuff. Not food actually. Whatever they eat is bad. So this man in the seminary said, "Oh no, look at them. They're very clean. We keep them in a very clean way, and we feed them only corn, and the pigsty also is completely clean." So how do you convince someone that this is not food? Cutting up a pig, it's not considered food from the sattvic point of view. So that's how different situations have become. So coming to this point of Indra becoming proud and losing control, what exactly was Indra's fault? He disrespected his spiritual master. That's all you might say? Yeah, that's all is needed. So the moment he became proud, the sattva guna's talk subtly got over, and Shukracharya, who is the spiritual master come teacher, martial arts teacher for the asuras, for the demons, he said, charge. Just right now, go and attack. This is the best time. You will never get another better opportunity. So the demigods, they lost their places only because of pride. So the first point is, it happens. Even something as secure as Swarga Loka can become uh, like a hotspot for demonic activity. We will come to the last point of today's discussion. I just noted down. Let's look at the question which Kashyapa Muni is asking. That my dear wife, have you followed? I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regard to three things: to the religious principles, brahmanas, or people in general who are subject to the whims of death. First thing is brahmanas. Why so much importance is given to brahmanas? Now we are talking of real brahmanas, those who practice what they preach, Shamo damo tapo titiksha kshantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavacham. In a succinct way, Krishna has summarized the functions and definitions of all four orders of social life as well as spiritual life. So, controlling the mind, controlling senses, then performing penances, uh, preaching to people in general about the existence of God, practically living that kind of life. This is the these are the qualifications of a Brahmana. And Prabhupada compared a society without Brahmanas to be like a headless body, arms, belly, legs, everything else is in place, but the head doesn't function. That's very dangerous. There could be no direction. So that is the only reason why in these episodes, when something is gone wrong, uh, an authority like Kashyap Muni says, have you followed dharma? Now in India, if you fill in a form, a government form, what's your name? Shyamananda. Religion. Now, religion is Hindu, but the Hindi translation of that form would say religion slash dharma. So what Prabhupada has taught is this definition of dharma is a very, very elementary, very, very superficial. It is just like the outer shell. That, oh, my dharma is being Hindu, my dharma is being Christian, my dharma is being Parsi, my dharma is being Muslim. What do you do if you are a Hindu? What do you do if you are a Islam follower of Islam? What do you do if you are a follower of Christianity? This can be compared to having a container which says sugar. You open it up, and sure enough, there are some crystals there. When you put that in milk, the milk curdles. Oh, they are citrus crystals, but they look like sugar. So something which looks like sugar may actually act in a completely contrary way. Sugar has to be sweet. Take sweetness out of sugar and it doesn't remain sugar. Take liquidity out of water, it doesn't remain water. So what is it that you take away from a living being and he practically doesn't remain a living being? So Thakur Bhaktivinoda wrote the book Jaiva Dharma. The word Jaiva is an adjective of Jiva. Jiva's original dharma. Take that dharma out and you get something else. What is that something else? I like this sentence in one purport. Prabhupada says, a living being is happily a part and parcel of Krishna. You don't need to do anything to be happy. You are happily a part of Krishna. So when that Jaiva Dharma is being changed, poisoned, or its constitution is changed, the Jiva becomes a competitor to Krishna. Who is Krishna? I don't know any Krishna. He's my enemy. God is not there. God is dead. So all these things come when the living being doesn't follow his dharma. So Bhagavatam prides itself in saying that dharma projita kaitavatro paramo nirmat saranam satam. As you read the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, what kind of dharma are we going to teach you? All kinds of cheating dharmas are removed from this book. And it is meant for those who are parama to a superlative high degree, non-envious. Paramo nirmatsaranam. It talks about plural. The last point here is, these are some of the asides, some small point. You may actually miss them. People in general. So, janaha, loka, so many words are used in Sanskrit. But people in general who are subject to the whims of death. Why that? Because actually we feel the way like today's society, coronavirus. Who brought it in? Who is going to take what efforts are needed to control it? No one knows. In an article, one scientist said that this was about a month and a half ago. Instead of all the people killed by this virus, the total weight of this virus is less than 1 gram. Now, the first time I read Bhagavad Gita purports and Prabhupada's writing there that the whale or an elephant also has the soul, which is 1/10,000th tip of a hair, I just had some theoretical faith in that. That okay, Prabhupada says so, it must be so. That something so tiny can control such a big body. Here is something so tiny, it cannot be detected even with a powerful electronic microscope. They know it is there and they know it is killing, but it is how large and how does it go from one place to another? Nobody knows. So if Krishna can empower, and it is material and it's not a living entity, it is just it is active or inactive. So these are some points to ponder. I think I have about 10 minutes or 12 minutes for any comments, questions, or corrections. So I should unmute, or Goshen Babu, you will unmute if somebody wants to talk.
I have one question, Prabhu, once.
Okay.
Then I can surely. There is no questions as of now in the chat. I'll ask my question and then I can open up.
Okay.
Thank you, by the way, for a wonderful presentation of the concepts of Dharma and also the intricacies of who are demigods and why the demons are in the heavenly attacking the heavenly planets. My question is, when you are speaking about Dharma as the eternal occupation or the eternal nature, and all these other religions are like superficial coverings, or so if we as devotees have, if at all we get a bigger control in the society, then will we be like, okay, this is the only way, because Bhagavatam rejects all the cheating religions. So only those who can, only those who accept love of God as the goal, there only will be facilitated, or they'll be like, because it sounds like the most extreme. Also, it can become like an extremist philosophy. How do we make sure, or what is the idea behind?
Well, the question itself is answered in your, the answer is in your question. Bhakti cannot be forced. Love cannot be forced. His Grace Garuda Prabhu, Dr. Graham Schweig, is a professor. So he told his class, they were discussing free will, bhakti. He said that I want all of you to vote that I am the best professor for this year. And if you don't vote for me, I'm going to flunk all of you in the test. I have the power. I can make sure that everybody fails the test. So the students had a puzzled look on their face. So he said, sounds strange, isn't it? We have some relationship because I am your teacher, you are my students. But when I say that unless you do this for me, I can harm your grades, I can make you waste your year or something. There is no question of love here. Love has to be voluntary. So in the event that ISKCON takes charge of the whole world, or a country, or a district, or right now we are struggling with taking care of our own temples, which already have been established. But whatever might be the case, even in historically speaking, when devotee kings were ruling, they were not having this kind of behavior that my way or the highway. So the Vedic tradition is, if there are people who say that Lord Shiva is supreme, Vishnu is not supreme, Vaishnavas would respect their right to worship Lord Shiva. Shaivites would respect the rights of Vaishnavas to worship Vishnu and to preach that Lord Vishnu is supreme. And they would discuss, they would have debates, they would have so many other interactions. It's not a question of, okay, these guys, they don't follow us, so kill them. The scriptures say that no, that never was and that never should be. It's always a case of you practice what your heart says if you are a bhakti yogi, but you also allow. And in the 12th chapter, Lord Krishna also says, if you can't do bhakti, then do this. If you can't do that, do that. If you can't do this, do this. So where do we have the right to say that it's only we who will dictate what kind of mentality you should have? No, that's not true.
I think Daniel has a question.
Okay.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. So I'm just maybe not, well, definitely not familiar, but I don't fully understand Aditi and Kashyapamuni's position
All right.
yeah, parents of the demigods, and also the statement about no Bhagavatam being in the heavenly planets. But Kashyapamuni's in meditation. So
All right. So I'll just give a very brief introduction. Kashyapa Muni is a Prajapati, Praja, population, Pati, someone in charge of. So Krishna, Vishnu is the one who gives the ingredients for creation. So in that sense, he is the original person. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. But as Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma declares that just like Surya Kanta is a gem where light from the sun gets stored in some bright jewels, and then these jewels also shine. So Brahma says, I am like that. I have derived the creative power from Vishnu. And then Brahma is a secondary creator, but he is assisted, ably assisted by so many different personalities. And one among them, the name category, is the Prajapatis. And Kashyapa Muni is one major Prajapati. So he married many wives, and like interestingly, both the demons and demigods are his sons, so to say. So demons and demigods don't have a separate father, they just have different mothers. So Aditi, her sons become the Adityas. Diti, her sons become the Daityas. Danu, another mother, her sons become the Danavas. So in the eighth canto, this is the eighth canto. So in the churning of the milk ocean, the demons tell Lord Vishnu that, hey, we are also quite well educated, we have very good parentage, and we are no way inferior to these fellows. Huh? So don't treat us like uncouth or unrefined people. So demons always have that pride. So Prajapati Kashyapa has this role in populating like the universe has been created, but what do we do with the planets? They need to be populated. So all kinds of creatures are being produced through Kashyapa. Like normally we see now human beings giving birth to only humans, but this is the beginning of time, in a sense, the beginning of the creation, the first phase. So where even non-human, all other species, they come forth from these great sages. So Kashyapa is one of those, and Aditi is his wife, and the demigods, they complain to her that, oh mama, we have lost our place, like that. So therefore she's morose, and therefore he's going to give her a ritual which would they want someone who can defeat the demigods, defeat the demons. And Vamandev, Lord Vamandev will appear. So this is the precursor to the appearance of Lord Vamandev.
There is a question in the chat, Prabhu, if you...
Yes, I saw. What is the difference between demigods and demons? From Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, for this question. By the way, demigods are defined. Demons are not defined. It's very strange. I'll explain what I'm saying. Dwa bhuta sarge lokesmin daiva asura evacha Vishnu bhakta smrto daiva asuryastar viparyaya. Two kinds of people are existing from the beginning of creation. Two categories. One is Vishnu bhakta. One is somebody who wants to be a devotee of Vishnu. I call it a cooperator with the Lord, a cooperator with the universe, somebody who takes responsibility for Lord's creation. So that is the definition. And who's a demon then? This particular text says anybody who's not a cooperator is a competitor. So there is no definition for a demon. Anybody who doesn't want to cooperate. It's like you have a car, I have a car. So in that sense, there is some commonality. But I would like to jump the signal anytime I get an opportunity. When I'm caught, I'm fined. I'm caught again and again and again. They take away my license, but I still do it anyway. So that's like a non-cooperator. So that's a simple definition of a demon. There is another question from Anand Bihari Prabhu. Do demons have varnashram dharma in their society? Well, what do you see around? Srila Bhakti Thakur called this Asurik Varnashram. Asurik Varnashram means might is right. Like today, the country's president, I'm not saying of US alone, but almost everywhere, like he's told that so many people have died. He said, yeah, that is what it is. What can I do? I am alive. That's good enough. So totally selfish, totally conceited, full of pride, arrogance, not caring the least about those who are the weakest elements of society. That is Ashtarik Varnashram. I think it is time. Maybe one last question from Lucy. Does demigod have, or it is only in humans? Thank you. What's the question? Does demigods have, or is it only in humans? Not very clear.
Sorry. I think the previous question was, do demons have varnashram? So she's asking, does demigods have varnashram, or is it only human beings?
Well, demigods do not need to, because it is mostly, they are mostly enjoying the results of their pious activities which they have done here while in varnashram duties. And demons are those who or people are pushed to the hellish planets. They are those who are supposed to be punished. So those who have done their part and now are on vacation, that's like a demigod's life. So things are already there. Um, like somebody going on vacation to a resort, he doesn't ask for employment. Can I work in the kitchen? Can I earn $20 an hour here? He already has worked. Now he wants to enjoy 4 days. Why should he ask for employment there? He got $2,000 with him and he's splurging it. When he sees that there is not a cent left, then he comes back to New York and thinks of work. So demigod life is like that.
That was an amazing example, bro. I think there is a follow-up. Like, what is the essence of calling someone demigods or demons? That
Okay, in one sense, here we are, devotees at Bhakti Center, and you could be calling yourself demigods. Why not? You have a tilak, you have a kantimala, you're chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, but at the same time, in Kali Yuga, demoniac and demigod tendencies stay in the same body. So at one point of time, you could be feeling like, maybe I should chant more with more feeling. I should chant more. I should cry like a baby. And at the same time, if somebody does something, also I'd like to punch him in the nose. I would like to kick him. I'd like to do this. So in a day, both these mentalities can visit us. So I'm not decrying anybody, not putting down somebody, calling them asuras. I'm not glorifying somebody, calling them demigods. In Kali Yuga, we have an even chance to, we are forced to show our demonic behavior sometimes, but we need to bring out our demigod behavior by associating with others who are more demigodly than us. That's the point. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.